me, just being able to be there with somebody is really good. So that's why I'm here.
Hi, my name is Celine. I'm French. I've been living in Sydney for 10 years. I studied English at school as well as Italian and Spanish. A bit like Irene, I've been working on and off in hospitality and personal assistant administration work, and I've always had a passion for languages and communication. So if I could be the voice for someone who doesn't speak the language, yes, that's what I would like to do now. Then again, the field that I will get into, I like to do something quite creative. I love arts and movies, so I don't know if I could translate. I don't know at this stage, this is only the beginning. So yeah.
So you're thinking to do translation or interpreting?
Both. Yes. Yeah.
Like level 3 for professional?
The highest I can go, really. It's
Top of the grade.
It's the goal.
Hi there, my name is Jafar. I'm from Iraq. I've been from Australia for 5 years. I used to be a contract radio in technology in Australia. Now currently I'm doing pharmacy course, a Bachelor of Pharmacy, so I would love like to get an opportunity, like working in the hospitals, like the routine with patients, all the patients, but they also control the that would be really useful, I mean, for me as a pharmacist and for my colleagues, medical health,
That's nice.
My name is Igat. My background is still I'm going for a career, and I'm working as a legal advisor also. Actually, I'm specializing in visa problems. So I'm listed my religion for some time, for many years, and during this business, I encountered a lot of needs to interpreting and translating, for particular cases where confidentiality is very important, extremely important. And if you pass information to a third party, become, it's not like confidentiality, especially for protection, those, the protection situations. So I decided this have to do it. I've done the exam 3 years ago. Frankly, it was very, very tough. Maybe I didn't prepare for it. I think I didn't prepare for it enough. So I'm doing both translation and translating and interpreting in order to quality cases. So far.
So are you doing the 2 tests? Like
yes. I thought I'm going to do the master at Macquarie. Macquarie is very interesting.
Yeah. Macquarie has the best linguistic.
Yeah, I did Macquarie before. Yeah, Macquarie is good. Yeah. Well, see.
Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Reza. I'm Persian. And I've been here in Australia for 20 years, more than 20 years. My background is engineering, mechanical engineer, and I'm just retired. And there is so many demand for interpreting. So many refugees coming to this country, then they need some help in translating and interpreting. Then I decided to, having my time to give service some other people they area for language. Then I'll start from interpreting and maybe in future go through the translating.
I'm Annie and I'm studying first year medicine this year. And so I've always loved languages, and at home I speak Cantonese in my brain, and I've learned German for a very long time. Speak French and the German Japanese system. And so I really love to work in interpretation and a part-time job in the health and care in the future. So I'd like to think that that's someone with you as time to do this. And hopefully good luck.
Hi, I'm Krishna Priya from India. I've been living here in Sydney for the past 2 months. Back in India, I was basically an electronics and communication engineer and worked as a professor. And there I've interpreted subjects for my rural students. So with that basic interest, and I wanted to work in a service-oriented industry, I've taken up this interpretation. And after being successful,
So how many of you have taken part in NATI exams before? Only you. So what do you think is the hardest part for you?
I think the consecutive interpreting is very difficult. It's really difficult, maybe. Because the time, you have a very short time, you have to remember, you need to organize your memory. It's an exercise, obviously. You have to organize your memory to absorb, the right information and then transfer again the right information. Otherwise, if you lose the beat, gone.
Just excuse me. What's your name, please?
Imad, I-M-A-D, Imad.
Ahmed. Because he has attended so many twice the course.
Here?
Yeah,
no, no, first time.
It's first time. I thought that you've been here before.
No.
Okay.
That's the first time. I cannot come back again because I think I have come back again for the first year, obviously. Because they become
Are you here for the workshop?
Yeah.
Introduce yourself.
Okay, so I studied in the University of Sydney. I finished the course and I had to go around working at medical center. So do some diagnostic and I'm interested in the interpreters course because it's just interesting. So so I come here just trying to see how to go because I haven't done it before. So just want to see what's in there, what's here, do I need to pass the test or something?
So what language are you? What language is Vietnamese? Okay, cool. So I can, in this workshop, I'll give you a brief introduction about the NATI testing, translation, and interpreting. And then we can practice a little bit the testing stuff. And then we have some cultural questions and ethical questions for you to practice and discuss in the class. And then I will give you some handout with some very important information about being an interpreter. So, okay, I'll just get a pen first.
You finish the course? You finish the interpreting course?
Yeah, sure.
Why
The
the interpreting course you done at the Western
I
Sydney?
just finished the uni.
You didn't finish.
What did you study?
Diagnostic radiographer.
Okay. I'll talk to the interpreter.
Waiting for market. Okay, alright. I can talk now. So the NATI translation and the interpreting are very different. For translation, you don't have to do any ethical questions, and only 3 passages, but random passages, 300 word, normally longer than that. 300 word each covers everything. So you need to finish. You can use dictionary, luckily, which is good. You can use dictionary, but you need to choose one direction. So for example, you choose from English to Greek or French to English. That's one direction. Okay, so each direction. So you need to pay for so that's 2 tests for translation. You got a 2 tests. So one is it's not called source language A and language B. So if you want to be credited as a translator, you need to do 2 tests. But normally it would be easy for you to do, for a lot of overseas, it will be easy for you to do English to your mother tongue. Yeah, because you have the language competency to do it very well. But if you're bilingual, of course you have the advantage to do both. So the passages just covers everything. You don't know what it's about, but you can look up the dictionary. So it's about 2 hours for 3 passages. You got 4 passages. You can choose 3 out of 4, and then do 2 out of 4, and and translate. So translation, I think, is fairly easy compared to interpreting. But with interpreting, it's like it's two directions. So in one test, two directions. So in level two, you got two counter questions first. So two ethnic questions and two dialogues. So the dialogues covers everything: medical, legal, or business, migrant issues, and everything. So you just need to prepare for it. And the dialogues are not very long normally. And the thing is that the difficult part about dialogue is the vocabulary, because they probably doctor, the patient would be, sometimes talking about very rare disease that you never heard of it. And you probably have the problem with the vocabulary, and sometimes you have really long sentences, and you have problem writing, taking notes and write them down, and repeat it. And also, it's very important that when you in your delivery, you need to make it very smooth. You can't say that's a fail, definitely fail. So you need to make it as smooth as possible, like a real conversation. But that's just in the test, for the test. But in real life, of course, you can, you've got time to think about it, But in the test, you have one chance to ask for a repeat. Only one chance. You need to use it smartly, carefully. You get one chance to ask for a repeat.
Sorry, again, going back to the interpreting, you call it level 2. What's level 1?
There's no level 1 for interpreting.
Okay, then level 2, we have 3 tests. 2 tests, cultural, cross-cultural, 2 ethnic, and 2 dialogues.
2 dialogues.
Dialogues reverse or just one way?
Well, the patient will speak another language, your your language, and the doctor will speak English.
Okay.
Normally, that's normally the case.
English to
It's only
the...
one direct.
With the language you choose.
Okay, just one way.
Yeah. But you'll be accredited as interpreter in 2 directions,
Into
2 languages.
Okay.
So you don't have to do 2 tests to get English into, say for example, Greek and Greek into English. That's 1 test. And then with level 3, you gotta, each dialogue will come with a sign translation related to the dialogue. Say for example, if the dialogue is about drinking driving, and the passage will about drinking driving, and you got 1 minute to read it through. It's about 300 words, sometimes less than 350. So you got 1 minute to read through quickly, and then start to sign translation, translate the paper.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
This is for the passage, right?
For the what?
For the passage?
For the passage, yeah. So you
have to
translate the
read
passage.
Okay, so you have to do everything and try to write and
No, you don't have to. You just read it while you translate it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. I'll show you an example later.
All right. Yeah.
So you read it, you translate it, and you can't. Well, it's a fail if you just too many pauses or pauses. And then the passages, you got 2 passages. So the first passage would be for English, of course. The second one would be the language you choose. Yeah? And then you got 1 minute to read and translate that into English.
Then in level 1, how many words is it in level 2? Level 2, sorry. In dialogues. In level 3, we have 300 to 150. How about level 2, how many?
Level 2, there's no, only dialogues.
Only
No
dialogue.
sound translation. So with level 3, you got a sound translation. And then after sound translation, you got 2 consecutive passages. Signed. Yeah. So you read.
Signed, okay,
Yeah,
I'm with you. Sorry.
Signed
I
translation.
thought I had to translate signs. Sorry. Sorry.
So then you got 2 consecutive passages, which each of them is about 300 something. But it will be divided into 2 parts. 150 each. So the first, well, normally they're about a speech given by some, important person, and the first one is from English to your language, The second one is from your language to English, and then you need to take note, of course. And
Even for
then,
the passage, you
sorry.
even for the passage, you need to take notes.
With the passage, yes, because it's consecutive. It will read 150 words. Like, say for example, I'll read this. It's very nice for me to be here today with everyone. Blah 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 blah. We'll read 150 words, and you need to take notes because you can't memorize. Well, if you can memorize everything,
No, I'm
that's
saying-
fine.
no,
But if you
No,
can't,
what I'm saying, like, is it gonna be like look at the papers on read in, for example, this the passage in English, right?
yeah.
Okay, this looks like that. I'm looking at it and speaking in Arabic or different.
No, it's different. This one, sign translation, you got a paper in your hand. They can
Okay.
read. Yeah, and then you translate. But with a consecutive,
Okay.
there's nothing
There's nothing written.
for you to read. Yeah. So you need to listen.
It's a
Oh,
listening,
okay.
it's more.
Yeah.
listening.
So you listen to it and you take note. If you can memorize, of course, you don't have to. And you can take notes and then you just interpret it straight away after. Yes. Straight after the finish the passage. And you got 2 passages, of course, and that's about it. So for the level 3, I think that's a very, very long test. It's about 3 hours actually. Yeah, with Nati, because everything will you sit with the person in Nati, and she'll sit there with you and just put on, turn on the tape recording, and you listen to everything, and it's, and then you have to finish the test like, straight up like that. So it's about 3 hours, and after that, sorry.
Sorry, do you know the rate of success? I mean, are they really hard, very difficult tests? Or, I mean, of course, I know it's a hard
Well,
question.
Tonati is nothing's too hard.
Okay.
Yeah, but because it covers everything, so I think that makes it difficult for
us
us.
to study. It's like
Yeah.
you don't know what to study, you don't know what really they ask of us. So
Yeah,
you
because
can't
it
go prepared.
covers everything, legal,
Yeah.
medical,
Health, this, that,
or
so you can't
business,
go
Right.
everything.
Yeah.
Exports, imports, migrants and everything. Well, it will be easy if you migrant issue,
get an
but
easy one, yeah.
but normally
Once you get the politics or the
yeah,
health,
politics, yeah.
But
They know their result. So,
But I think is it for the passage you're gonna get they will send you like idea or they tell you what kind of
They will give you.
topics
They will send you a topic on the consecutive ones.
Okay.
Say for example, they tell you, it's about business. But come on, business is about everything.
yes.
Okay.
They tell you about it as a culture, maybe cultural relations with the country, and that's like nothing.
Nothing good, that's right.
Yeah, it's very vague because they won't give you, say for example, okay, it's about diabetes. No way.
Yeah, the dictionary is here.
Yeah, you can't take
And how long do
dictionary.
you, like, from the time they tell you what it is, how long have you got before the actual exam? How much in advance do they give you time to study?
They give you 1 or 2 weeks.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. 1 or 2 weeks. And they give you a topic and you can prepare. But it's like nothing.
That's right.
Yeah. So with each part, you need to get a 5 out of 10 in the question for each question. Culture questions 5 out of 10 for the ethnic questions, and dialogues that's 70 out of 100, and consecutive that's the same, 71 out of 100, and consecutive the same. So totally score, you need to pass 70 to get a NATI accreditation.
Yeah.
But if your consecutive is about like 80 and your dialogue is about 69, and you got a like probably 75, 78, but that's still a fail. It's very strict. So
Okay.
you pass all the components to
Yeah.
get a NATI accreditation. Yeah. So that's why you need a lot of practice. It's very important. Yeah. And after that, if you got a NATI level 3, and you can go up to do a conference interpreter. You can become a conference interpreter. Yeah. And then you can work for like all this kind of big international conferences.
So if you get level 2, let's just say you pass the level 2, what field of work can you get?
Community jobs.
Community jobs, yeah. And then you go to level 3, which gives you what?
Gives you more chance to do. You can do. You can work for some delegations and government conference meetings and stuff, but only consecutive. You need to be trained to become a simultaneous interpreter, and it's not very easy. Yeah, but it pays well, so it's worth the work efforts. Yeah, I got one classmate. He's like, I think it's 45 already. He's doing the simultaneous interpreting as well because he want to become a simultaneous interpreter. And that's really good money. So yeah, it's never too late to learn. You know what happens to you. Especially bilingual is very, it's a big advantage compared to other people. But still, you study hard.
Definitely. I've been out of school all these years, it's not that easy to go back to books. Oh my God. But anyway.
But I think it's, once you pass the test, and life will be easy for you. But
I'm
before
sure
that,
it's just
it's
getting
hard.
over that hurdle.
It's like driving taxi.
And once you become a simultaneous interpreter, and there's a international organization called IE. So that's for the international interpreters, conference interpreters. And once you get in there, this work will come to you. Like all this international conference, they'll find you. And that's only not many IE members actually, because it's recognized by the UN. So once you become an IE member, you can just go to UN, any conferences, and work for them. Yeah.
What does it stand for again? It's Australian.
It's not Australian, this is international. This is Asian interpreting or something. International
Asian?
Interpreting Conference, something. I can have a look for you. If you don't mind, I can check it out later for you.
Yeah,
Is
no
that
problem.
Okay, so to start from level, let's just say now we do a level 2 test, okay?
Yeah.
How long will it take to get to that level? Like how much, let's say we leave here today,
Okay.
okay? And we want to do level 2.
Yes.
When's the, like when are we ready to go for level 2 test?
Well,
How do we
it really
know?
depends how much effort you're doing studying. Because it's not about how smart you are, it's about how much you know. Like we say interpreters are like, jack of everything, master of none. So you need to know everything, a little bit of everything. So it's like, if you become a professional interpreter, it's a lifetime of learning. Which
You're
is
using
good.
it all the time.
Yeah.
Once you start using it, you'll get better at it,
Yeah,
obviously.
that's right. Yeah.
So it's like anything. The more
Yeah.
you use it, the more.
Practice makes perfect.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, so I'm trying to.
That's where you're going.
That's my goal.
That's a long. You're on the road.
That's a long way to go still. Anyways,
So why is long way to go? Because you have the accreditation, right?
no, with the IE, if you want to become IE member, you need to have like 5 years working experience as a simultaneous interpreter, and you need IE members to recommend you to join this organization. So it's really high standard.
It stands for International Association of Conference Interpreters.
Yes.
But once you're in there, it's,
Yes. Once in there,
Is it required to use?
perfect life.
What is
Sorry.
it?
5 years working.
5 years working.
Just translated that, sorry. Simultaneous interpreter, that means normally in a scenario like a conference, like we were having a conference, and you speak Indian to the lady, but she doesn't speak any Indian. So I'll have to interpret it from Indian to English to her. At the same time, when you speak, I'll just start to intern. That's simultaneous intern.
So once you start, I will start.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like at the same time when you speak, at the same time I speak as well.
It's like half a second delay.
Yeah, exactly.
But with French, that'll be easier. Like if you do English and French, because the grammar is very similar. So and I mean, the European language as well, like the grammar is very similar, so you can just start straight away.
Yeah.
But with other like Asian languages, especially Chinese, like because the grammar is different, we have to like wait a bit and adjust, like
Change it.
Yeah. But the smartest way to translate, for interpreting is just follow the sentence structure. Don't change it. Yeah. With the interpreting as well, same. Because if you change the whole thing, especially in consecutive, if you change the whole thing, it'll be very hard for you to
Put it back
to
into
memorize
place
what
again.
what it's about. Like you just
Yeah.
got lost in your translation. So it would be better for you just follow the structure. Yeah.
But sometimes like the language is like noun first and then verb, and sometimes the verb first and noun. So you
Exactly.
can wait for the
Yeah.
whole sentence.
Doesn't make
and then-
sense.
No, you don't. That's why I'm saying just try to follow the sentence structure.
But
The
how-
verbalization, that's the strategy we use.
But
But if you don't know the subject, then how do you translate? As in, like, because you don't know the...
Well, sometimes, like, say for example, I think you will know the subject anyways. The subject is very easy to tell. And sometimes, let me think of an example. I have an example of English to Chinese. Say, well, people will do this, do that, and do this, do that. But in Chinese, you don't wait. We have to wait for the verb to make this a sentence. But sometimes the verb doesn't come into at the end of the sentence. Then you need to break the sentence first, make it into small ones, and then that'll be easy for you. But if you just wait for the whole thing to finish, you can't interpret until it finishes.
Well, no, but for example, in English, I play with the dog, right? And Japanese is dog and play with. So you wait till say I play with the dog, and you can say dog play with.
I think that's, well, Japanese can handle it well, but I don't know, I'm not really sure.
So,
But
okay,
yeah.
so...
We actually go to translate, go to interpret everything. Even doesn't make sense. I mean, sometimes, the interpretation doesn't make sense if you interpret the same.
just one thing I
I
want
have to
to
do it.
Well, sometimes if it doesn't make sense, that's because your listening comprehension has some problem. That's why it doesn't make sense. Normally, it should make sense. Everything should make sense. Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, of
So,
course.
just from my previous experience, alright? I used to be like a student interpreter or English to English. My question here, so sometimes you have to change, like, you cannot just try, interpret it by word. It doesn't
That's
make no
right.
sense, you
That's
know what I
right.
mean? If you do like that for example, from English to Arabic, definitely make no sense at all,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how much I'm flexible, because when I used to be very flexible, like, to choose my own way to say it, So just for like purpose of the test, how much I'm flexible to make like this arrangement.
Well, you have to compromise
Yeah.
in a way that you can't speak beautiful language.
Okay.
Because that's oral
Exactly.
language. You don't have to give like a perfect
Yeah.
translation. It's not like
It's not
written.
literature.
You don't have to. You just
Okay.
say it, and people can understand you better.
So that comprehension, that's, I
Yeah.
have to make sure
So
that.
you need to give the meaning, the
Okay.
delivery of the meaning, rather than like, I choose the best word, because you're gonna spend too much time for you thinking which word you should go for.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you a lot for that, because one of my friends, he told me, you have to like stick like word by word. I said, no way.
Well, that's right. That's also right. That's not wrong, because you need to practice. Say for example, when you say conference, that's a word for conference in your language.
Yeah.
And you say meeting, that's not a word for it.
That's true.
You need to practice. You need to be familiar with all those words,
No.
and then it just come up without thinking. You can't spend too much time thinking when you're doing.
I understand what you're saying,
conference.
but my real concern was like, you can't, like you said, you are perfect. You know every single vocabulary in English, structure. But if you go like word by word, that's disaster. That makes no sense in our language. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
so we have a strategy called deverbalization. You don't go word by word.
Okay.
So you just, translate in the way you speak.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
But
But with European languages, I think it will be easier.
Yeah,
like
easier
if
to
you
read.
just
Have more
translate,
accuracy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
excuse me, are we allowed to repeat it twice in a translation? Like one of them word by word, the other one used a good sentence.
Well, you mean translation?
In repeating.
Interpreting. Well, that's because the other person practiced a lot. That comes from the experience. And you, of course, you can't have many beautiful sentences, but because you've been doing that for 100 times, 1,000 times, of course, once you hear the sentence, it just comes out. Yeah. Because the politic language is the same. You speak the same thing all the time. So yeah, what's it?
Roughly, how many, if you go to apply for the exam, and then you get 2 weeks before the exam,
Yes.
you get to do it. How many hours do you think a week you should give for
Study.
Study?
set aside for?
You mean within 2 weeks?
Yeah, within 2 weeks.
Study every day.
Yeah, but only 8 hours a day.
The more you can do, the better
Yeah.
you do.
Roughly,
Yeah.
because you know it before, I mean, you succeeded, so you know it's.
Yeah, to me, I mean, I study a lot. Like even as an simultaneous interpreter, I practice like at least 4 hours a day. This is really hard.
Or level.
Do you listen to podcasts?
Yeah, you listen to you got a YouTube videos and everything, all the media. You can read
That's right.
magazines, the economy. If you want to improve your vocabulary, that's really good. Economist. Yeah.
Is there any prescribed material for practicing?
Sorry.
Is there any prescribed material, for practicing? For example, like, have you tried not to get, some materials like already, designed for practice?
Well, to be honest with you, like everything could be used to be Nazi.
Not saying like, I have 2 weeks, okay, I cannot just go online, whatever, like, trying to wage my way, to find the right material. Is there any prescribed, like, someone, like, made it for to make,
Probably just come to class and
Oh,
practice with the instructor.
I did that when I was
teacher.
young.
Yeah. Listen more. I would say listen more. Like
Yeah.
the more you practice, better you become. That's the only way to achieve this interpreting goal. Yeah.
So is it like when you practice, you listen, you interpret yourself, and then you find out you don't know a word, you just check it like kind of.
No, you don't. Like as well, that's different because if you do level 3, you probably need to check all the words you don't know because you don't want to make sure that you interpret correctly in the test. But actually in the test you don't have the chance to. That's why you need to prepare for everything. That possibly
So
will
when you're
occur in the
practicing,
exam.
you try to improve vocabulary.
Yeah, that's very important. Yeah,
How
because
does, sorry, these instructions are for both level 2 and level 3? Level instructions?
well with dialogues, yes, dialogues both direct for level 2 and level 3. But if you want level 3, you need to do consecutive. That's more about like business, political, everything like that. Yeah, big switches.
So what is level 1?
There's no level 1. Level 1 is just everyone's level 1.
Then we go Now we have to get there quicker.
Level 1. So,
I went onto the Nazi website and I was looking at the resources, what you need to get. And you can make this you get the CD or you get the ring binder with all the index. Is there anything else that you can recommend that we can buy to?
you don't really need to buy anything. Well, if you can spend more time to read on the website, like some medical website,
Yeah.
Government, the legal website, everything's listed up there on there. You can just practice there. Especially science translation. When you practice science translation, you practice your vocabulary as well.
Yes.
When you hear the thing, like in the Nazi test, well, I'll just give you. In a Nazi test, you don't have time to stop and think. Probably just when you stop, like say for example, I escaped to Tibet and Nepal because of the snow. I couldn't leave China, and then you just start to interpret. You can't just wait. Yeah. So all you need to do is get familiar with all the vocabulary and the sentence structures.
Yeah.
Yeah, fluency is very important.
Once you get fluent.
That's the priority. It's more important than accuracy.
So really, anything we read, doesn't really matter what it is, anything we read,
You need to know the
yeah,
words.
so that you pick up your speed, so that your mind is as fast as your mouth.
Yes.
So as you look and straight away you can.
Yes.
That's why
That's what I'm
practice
saying.
start.
But after the practice, according to my experience, like now when I do consecutive interpreting, I don't have to take notes anymore.
Yeah,
So
of
just
course.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points, and well, they can speak 10 minutes or 5 minutes. I get all the points, and I just retell the points. That's very important for consecutive interpreting because you need to get a point. You don't say it's my pleasure to be here with everyone to talk about this blah 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 blah. My pleasure here is not that's not the point. The point is what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah.
If you can't remember those, my pleasure stuff, well, that's not important. Yeah. Important things that I want to talk about what? It's about what? Yeah. So that's the point. So you need to get the points.
Yes.
Points is very important.
Yeah.
But look how long it took you to get to that system. Practice. See, that's what
Yeah.
it is.
That's
You've got
the
to
only
this
way.
system because you've been practicing and you've seen what you need on the way to get you there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for us now, it all seems really new and different. But once you put in a job
Yeah.
and you start, you take notes of what it is I need, how this works, and what will help you get better.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
everyone's an individual. Everyone will find their own needs as they
Yeah.
go.
So practice, that's going away,
Yeah.
to be honest with you.
Okay.
Because sometimes you got really nervous when you go for a job and you're not really sure if you can do it well. But if you're fully prepared, nothing will go wrong, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Still, because I'm beginning of the job, do you recommend I start from translation or interpreting? Which one helps to get to the business, to do the job?
To do what job? As an interpreter?
Both of them are similar because we are doing same thing. We want to just transfer the information from this language to the other one. Then start from translation. Of course, gives more ability
Yes.
to me to do interpreting. Or I don't know. My question is or I go through
Okay.
interpreting, then I go translation.
All right.
Which one do you recommend?
Well, I think translation, the pass rate for translation is higher for interpreting because interpreting is unpredictable. You
Yes.
just don't know what they're going to test, what's in the exams, and you don't know how long will they talk. That's the hardest part, I reckon. But with the translation, you need to write
I was
beautifully.
going to say, it's got more to do with writing, translating.
Yeah, translating is about how you write, how
your
you
vocab
yes.
has to be better.
It's the grammar.
The grammar has to be
The grammar,
correct.
yes.
Yeah, definitely.
But it helps, definitely. It will help you with your, I think that's overall language ability. Well, of course, if you're like bilingual, it won't be too hard for you to do the test. But also you need to know all this knowledge. That's the most important part for everyone. Yeah.
One thing I know, this for central business, for example, they said, like for example, I want to be a translator, right? But I want to choose for example, one direction. For the business, as you know, you are already in this business now, and you're working as a translator and interpreter, right? So what the demand for that one? There's demand for translation.
translators?
I know
Yes.
there's demand
Yes.
for interpretation, but I don't know
Yes.
for translation.
For both, yes. High demand for both. Yeah.
Okay. Is it the demand from the language other than English to English or the reverse one? Or?
Well, I think both.
Okay.
Both. But I think it would be better money if you translate from your language into English.
I'm not saying because like
Slightly higher.
yeah, because like someone in Australia, why I need to translate my documents to other language than the English? You know what I mean? Because if the document in English already, nothing there is a big really needs to translate it for another language in Australia. For
Yeah, but
example.
sometimes you need a formal documents you need to translate. It's like so that's very important. So there's high demand. Yeah. Any questions?
In test, can we use dictionary or?
In translation you can, but not in
Interpreting.
Interpreting. And also I think personally I prefer interpreting because I think it's easier. Like because everything is in here. I don't have to sit there for the whole thing and translate and less pay. So translating is more fun. I would say you just go out to meet people, talk to other people, and yeah, that's an easy job if you fully pay.
So which one is it to pass?
Translation.
What was the question, sorry?
Which one is it to pass?
Translation for sure, yeah.
Yeah, of
So the
course,
translation, because I'm from Vietnam, so with Vietnamese language, they just have like professional translation.
Yes.
So it's a harder compared to the professional translation.
Well, I still think translation is easier. Yeah.
So what is
compared to-
about in the professional translation? So do they give you a topic about your thing and you translate it or what?
Well, they give you topics, but it's really like vague. Same as exactly. It's just about, say for example, culture, about festival, but a festival is too easy in an answer text. About education,
So how many
health
words?
care system.
How many words does it say?
For translation, I think it's about. I don't remember that was a long time ago. I think it was about 500 words each passage.
So how many passages?
I think you got a 4. You can choose 2 or 4, or maybe 3. Now, probably 3 now. You got 2 hours.
Yeah,
That's what
you can say
2 hours for about 2,000, yeah?
Yeah.
So 3 passages of 500 words each.
Yeah.
So 1,500 words
Yeah.
in 2 hours.
Yeah.
And, do we need any? Is there any prerequisite for translation?
Sorry for what?
For translation, okay, I want to enter to the system of translation. Do I need any prerequisite for that? Say, pass the qualification, any or university
No, you just need
degree?
that's different. Like that's this accreditation certificate. So that's it's a ticket to the job. So you don't have to have the degree. But if you have, that's great.
It doesn't.
It'll help you with your future career. Like if you want to go further up. Yeah. But if you just want to become a community interpreter, I think that's enough.
Yeah, that's cool.
So level 2 is paraprofessional
Yes.
and level 3 is professional. Okay.
Okay. So let's have a look at the point. So let's have a look at the consecutive interpreting about note taking. Note taking, I think, is important. At the same time, it's not important if you have good memory. So if you can easily memorize everything, that's nothing. With note taking, I think there's no standard note taking skills for everyone. Like everyone should, or each individual should develop your own note taking system. Say, for example, I can give you some examples. Talk about that already. I'll talk about it. Just give us the.
Excuse me, what are you showing us now on PowerPoint? Is there anything in
Yeah,
here?
you gotta copy that. Yes.
Okay.
So some example about note taking, and we can practice a little bit. Note taking is mainly for consecutive interpreting because consecutive message is really long, and you need to you need to practice. Let me give you some examples about note taking. Like, so, okay, before that, I would like to see how you take notes. I'll just give you some really easy sentences. Okay. I think this is nice.
Excuse me, do you have any file for this stuff?
Yeah, there's a which one? Esponati, interpreting workshop.
Electronic file.
That one. I'll have the last one. Well, I can give you a copy if you want. Just think of it as a very random one. Exports from Australia. Sorry, cool stuff. Just to random practice. I want to look at the notes. The exports. The exports from Australia to the US is less than last year.
Oh. What's that? Then
Exports from Australia to the US is less than last year.
is what? Less than last year.
Oh, it's so dear.
So my note would be so this is export. Go out from country is this. My note is this. This is really like more like Chinese script. But so I just do shorthand, yes. So export is this, import is this. Yeah. Import. And then Australia, US, or you can say Auth, to US is less than, so this is last year and this will be next year.
Less than the year.
So
Less than what was the
less than last year.
Oh, less than
last year. So this is last year.
Last year, it could be year before the line or after the line.
Before the line.
just like shorthand. They should have some, actually, yeah, that was shorthand. You can use abbreviation words like that from shorthand too.
As long as you can read it yourself. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can make your own.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You make your own, then you can,
You make your own little pictures. No one else can read it, but you can.
And yeah, so this is international or global? We talk about something international, whatever, that's international. So this is very important. Like this. This is very
Alright.
important. So money is like this.
Which one?
That's easy.
Money.
Yeah.
And then bank. It's like a house, but it's too much to draw this.
What's
So like
bank?
Well, what's the
Bank.
just?
Oh, the bank.
so money house, money in a house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. And
Again,
then
it's dollar.
what's it, agriculture? It's like a fork. That's agriculture. And if you say industry, that's industry.
Which one? Which one industry?
Smokestack.
Yeah.
Industry, is it?
Yes.
Is there a book with all these stuff?
There's no.
No book.
Did you? This is your language. Did you invent this?
I even my own language I learn from other people as well.
Yeah.
What I'm
So
doing.
just make up your own little.
Yeah, so you can learn from people.
It's like a number.
Then I think
I wanted a book already.
If you can do this, perspective is too easy for you. Yeah, just write everything like in sentence.
then there is no notes in internet, anything. We get these notes.
Well, there are some I think you can Google and you can find your own. And actually, there are.
Yeah,
There's some Chinese like simple
yeah, in Chinese, like
boys,
It's really
girls,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
talk men and women.
Yeah.
So if this poor property,
which one?
no money.
Or no money.
No. And this is V2 or cost.
Yeah.
If somebody say something, that's so this person say blah blah. This person think something. Yeah. Or this is important as well. You want to.
Do you think you can manage it like with that using like, for example, sport, EX for example, or IM like you can manage the exam?
Wait, sorry, what?
For example, you instead of using this sign, for example,
Yeah.
export, EX for example, import
EX?
IM, it's
Well, if you can remember, that's fine because
Okay.
X normally, right there, that means something old to me.
I know, but I'm
Yeah.
saying like because like
You don't have time to think.
Like yeah, instead of have time to think like
That's what I'm
when
saying.
you're listening, just
Yeah, just
start
why you need
with,
to practice.
whatever comes to you,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever comes to you easier. I mean, now
Practice
that
and
to me,
I used to do that with
it's easy. It's like I mean, when you see the picture straight away, you know what it means.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's the fun part of.
Yeah.
You have your own language and nobody can read
Yeah,
it.
exactly. I could be writing something about you and you wouldn't know what I'm saying.
Get a lot of secret agents.
That is, yeah, that is really good.
that would be how it is 10 years ago because at my uni I used to then the lecturer, to give the lectures like not by PowerPoint or the thing, no, verbal,
Yeah.
and you have to take notes, you know what I mean? And he intentionally make sure that you won't have have a time to write everything. So that's why I use this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like code,
Yeah.
But also,
He used to do shorthand though, many years back.
Yeah.
Receptionist,
Yeah.
and I did.
Yeah.
And it was like, just as I learned it, they stopped using it. But you don't forget. I mean, as soon as I saw it, it was shorthand.
yeah. But remember that things help you to memorize the things. No, you can't rely on because a lot of the time in real scenario you don't have a paper pen with you. So you need to just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
So practice your memory, that's very important. Do you want to talk more about interpreting or more about translation? Because I think
For me,
Yeah, interpreting. Yeah.
interpreting,
Interpreting. Yeah.
yeah, because I think translation is pretty easy because you've got a dictionary, you can look it up anyways. You know, it's nothing too challenging for you. But interpreting, that's more about skills.
And also, do you give us some sample of tests?
Test.
Yeah, I mean the exams you test you.
Yeah, actually, you can have a look the paper gave to you, and there's some translation in the back from the government website, I think. Yeah, those ones, and they're translating it into your language as well. Not that one. Those
They're now.
like this.
Yep.
You can have a read because there's a translation there as well, so you can see what's the translation. They're not accredited translators translation work, so you can have a read.
No, I don't have it.
You don't have it?
Yep. This one.
Yeah. See if you like it.
just for ethics, there is standard or can I get a copy of this?
Yeah. Okay. We'll get this.
Oh, sure.
Let's say, for example, right, now reading this, it says, to provide a compliment or complaint, you can. Now, where it says to provide a compliment, the word in Greek, is give, provide. If I was to say to give a compliment, is that wrong?
That's not right.
So
As a
instead of using provide,
interpreter,
yeah.
that's fine, but as translation, that's not a.
I don't know if translating for interpreting. I
Yes.
know, so that would be acceptable.
Yes.
Because I mean the same word has 2 or 3 different you can use, so it doesn't. They're not sort of specific about which word you use where. You know, like now, for example, that word in Greek, there, I can use that as give, as provide.
Yes.
So that's okay.
That's okay. Get the meaning correct.
As long as you got the name. Yeah. Oh my gosh, if it's as easy as
How
this,
long
we'll
does
pass.
it take for interpretation?
Depends how fast you go, but normally for me, it took me 3 hours to finish the test. Yeah, 3 hours.
That's easy for me now.
That's what I need,
I'm
45
concerned
minutes.
about if I get
45 minutes
medical
probably for level
stuff
2.
Oh,
For level 3, you got to do sound translation and 2 consecutive.
on every day normal stuff.
Attending test, how much does it cost for logic?
For NAT, it's about
Yeah.
like 600, 800 now. Yeah, for interpreting.
Which is always more.
So is it better? It will be easy. I think it will be easier for you to pass level 2, but it,
Yeah, level
you
2,
know,
I'm talking about level 2.
yeah, level 2 probably the
How
same
much?
price.
Same price.
Yeah, well, 100% sure, but
Yeah,
roughly
then,
that's the price.
Then here you give us some ability or just do practice in order to attend the
Yeah,
test.
we'll help you with the
What you were saying
the
before.
techniques
Yeah,
and
techniques and-
help you with practicing and stuff.
Yeah. You can't complete a sentence until you hear all of it, and you have to rearrange it. It happens in
What do you want to do?
the
It depends.
to the end. Yeah, or the other way around.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Same with my language.
Yeah.
You can't get
Nah, it doesn't make
Flip.
sense.
As I said, the past week for me.
in
It's hard,
left to
hard.
right,
Yeah.
right to left. You know?
So you have to wait till the whole sentence is said, and then you have to try and,
French, it's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same, yeah.
Is it?
Like they say,
size.
for example,
Because-
beautiful women, for example.
Because-
okay? In my language, I will start
You know,
with
this
first.
is easier. The lot is
Then
easier.
the
The
beautiful,
criteria will be high.
like that, you know what I mean?
You know, do you like
Yeah.
because it's very easy for you to make like little mistakes.
Exactly.
You know,
The
and
name.
the tone, the way you speak the word choice. If they give you a dialogue only about diabetes, diabetes is really simple, easy like topic in the interpreting test now. If you give your dialogues about diabetes, well, you know, it's easy, but they will judge you in a very strict way as well. So yeah.
And now the translation is effective how long does it take?
2 hours, yes.
2 hours. Yeah, I don't know
But if you're comfortable with the oral English in Vietnamese, we'll go for
sentence, so you get
interpreting.
but in saying that, that's where I think you need to have, see that point system.
Yeah, you need to choose one direction. But interpreting those two directions.
Plan for those points, and then you have to put it in your own.
That'll be easier.
Yeah, you're gonna have to restructure it.
But then when you're saying it, that means you're saying it twice, so it just sort
Topics,
of.
yeah. So you need to have really like good knowledge about your English
Or correcting yourself.
and the grammar and stuff.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes they have really super long
Especially in interpreting, you know, the exam or test, dictation, how does it affect?
dictation.
Yeah. If you just write something, the answer to questions, write down something he said or something they wanted.
Well, I would say dictation doesn't help much unless you want to improve your vocabulary.
No, because you know we attend the test, okay? They ask us some question, we should write down the answer.
Yeah.
Then in writing, grammar is one
I
side.
think that's different.
It's different.
With the interpreting, that's different.
Is
Yeah.
that important or can we use the
Even though
computer
a naughty
graphics?
is not in your listening, doesn't mean you will pass a naughty test. Because naughty test is a professional interpreter. So else is just for examiner.
No, I'm talking about naughty test.
Yeah, naughty
I'm
test.
talking about naughty
If you
test.
want to, if you want to practice, retell the story. So listen to the, say for example, listen to some speech and you retell it yourself. Because that practice you're memorizing, not memorizing.
Because I've been using this for a while, like, it's hard for me to translate straight away.
Yeah, that's really quick.
Like, because I got problems with translate,
Yeah.
I've been used to
As long as the meaning is the same, you get
At least 5
the
seconds.
You know
Think
why?
about it.
You know why? Because you're not familiar with the equivalency. You can't just switch.
Yeah.
You touch into each other very quickly, so you need to practice.
Yeah.
But
So
it's just,
when I say conference,
this
give me
seems
the
really
benefits.
difficult
When I
for
say
us
computer,
because we
well,
haven't
computer is very
used
easy
it.
because
Once you
computer
start
definitely will
reading,
have.
once you start
What about
using
diarrhea?
it, it all comes through. You become a
Yeah.
word.
Quickly, just like
Yeah.
that.
With any job you do, when you first start, it's always difficult. But once you start, after a week or two, you look at it and think, just do it now. It's getting more expensive.
Yeah, but once you're familiar with the stuff, you're lovely. It's too
Sorry?
easy for
You are
you.
native in both languages, so
No, I mean
it should be easy
interpreting.
for you just to practice.
Yeah, so I really didn't know your name.
My name is Wayne. Sorry.
Wayne, sorry, I seem to be missing this page. We can help you learn English.
I didn't get one.
Wayne, you need one as well.
Bring a handful back when you want.
So what is that?
No, so these are the Australian government, these are the translations.
Oh, I don't have that. I don't have that.
Yeah, I got those.
Oh, maybe
I've got what you got.
Yes, I translate anyone. I
So
don't
these
have
are your
that.
translations. Oh, right, okay.
So maybe everything.
No, she didn't get it. She will do
I say,
this.
why you said that you have a file, electronic file for this stuff? Because
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, just I need to do it sometime in the
Okay, yeah, sure, no worries. Just leave me your email and I can email to you.
Thanks a lot.
This one is a translation one, this one is
That one's got one. You got that one.
This is the translation.
Yeah, so you translate your.
Yeah.
Didn't you?
Yeah.
So which one's one?
The English one.
There's some French version.
Oh, there's no French version.
And
So
there's probably
you-
none in Greek either.
So some of the texts you have specifically for your language, examples that relate to your language. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So they only have, for example, some have Greek, some have French, possible, but some only have Vietnamese and Chinese translation.
Okay.
Yeah. So look at the one that you have with you. All two texts in your package,
Yeah.
and they're all specific to your language.
Okay.
Some of you might find similar things, but some of you
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you have this one, and I have the other one. Yeah.
For
Okay.
example, I'm sure you don't have one difference. Well,
Everyone is
No, no.
in your language.
Yeah,
No, but I think
it's in our own
But
language,
the
in our own language, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking in my language, you know.
Yeah. Well, we didn't get that one. That's in English. Is that in English?
Yeah, but she has the translation in Chinese. She has a translation, but it's a different topic. Yeah.
There's some kind of website you have, it's not exactly.
Yeah.
But it's a
Yeah.
test.
So we have this Australian government
But in
so you just example. Yeah,
You
yeah.
have to make sure
As long
you
as we have the
translate it.
translation.
So
Okay.
in the test,
They are.
not even a single
Yeah.
English word should come.
That's right. Because if say the patient said yes, and then if you say yes, everyone will understand your language as well, but you can't say yes. Because if you say yes, then you didn't get a mark. You won't get a mark.
Oh, we were not talking.
So you need to translate the language.
Yes, also should be translated.
Yes.
For example, if it says that who is successful, we said that. But if I come one of word exactly.
Yeah, you can. You can.
As long as it has the same meaning.
Interpreting, yes.
In interpreting, not in translating. Translating has to be exactly
Translate
the
has to be
same.
correct.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
use beautiful language.
Yes. Yeah.
Very formal.
Formal. Yeah. Cool.
Okay, now we can talk about the skills in consecutive interpreting.
So for the test, each and every word has to be interpreted in our own language.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes,
But
that's
in
correct.
real life, we can do it.
Well, in real life, well, that's a good question because she was saying that the Indian, some words they can speak English, everyone can understand it. She asked me if she can do it in a test, but that's a no, because in a test, you're supposed to translate everything into your own language. So even though the person say, okay, you can't say okay. Yeah. So you need to say something in your language. Yeah.
I'm sorry. For the translation, you've got two tests. So there's one from language A into language B. So meaning language A is your.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
But
If
in
you
both
speak-
directions,
Yeah.
you do test in both directions.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Sorry.
So to get a certificate, do we have to do both sides?
Translation? Well, if you go to English into Vietnamese, then you can't translate, because now the thing is, if you translate a paper documents for some company, they need you to stamp the paper. That means you translate that. And on the stamp, there's a little sign say for example, from B to E. That means from Vietnamese to English. That's on your stamp with your name and everything naughty stuff. And another one is from E to G. So yeah, so people can tell if you qualify for it correctly.
Also, we can get on
So
the
it's yeah, you probably can't take the job from Vietnamese into
Sorry,
English.
So if you
You
want
might
to
have
Thank
to.
you. Good to see with you.
So I just want to get a certificate so I can do like just one side.
Yeah, you can. If you just want a certificate, that's fine.
Excuse me, how do they mark the dialogues? Say 70% of the.
How they mark it.
Yeah.
First of all, accuracy. Secondly, fluency. I think there's the two key points. So make sure no misinterpretation and interpret it fluently. And also, it's very important to maintain your own speed. You can't say, for example, I'm saying, oh well, it's very important for the blah 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 blah. You know, this is not good. It's not professional as well. You
Clearly
can't
and
speak too fast. You have to speak clearly
And
then
slow.
people understand you. Or you don't have to be slow until like confidently people can understand you, can hear you, and that's okay. No misinterpretation and fluency. That's very for test consecutive, American test consecutive or dialogues.
How much you get for you? England? England? How much you get for your exam? What was your mark?
Too close actually. It was 1 mark out. Very strict.
But now we're talking about the skills needed in consecutive interpreting. So, language translation. So, interpreting is a kind of translation, but just a bit casual compared to the formal translation. So, accuracy is very important. Choice of vocabulary becomes from practice. Yeah. So, of course, there are a lot of fluencies, language and vocabulary language as well. But it's better for you to pick a good one because people can tell, oh wow, you speak beautiful English or you speak beautiful French or Greek or Chinese. Customers will come back and work with you again. Yeah. So that's really good. And sentence structure. Well, sentence structure just make your sentence complete, and it's a full sentence and a full stop. Okay. Background knowledge about a little bit of everything. If you're gonna go to a legal assignment, you're gonna do some research before that, and then you get familiar with clients and the case you're gonna do. So it'll be easier for you to do a good job. Note taking. So note taking, that's some practice. We'll practice. If we meet again, we can practice. We can show more about note taking. And delivery is about public speaking. Well, I think is to speak clearly, confidently, and because sometimes when you speak, people will look at you. Well, to my experience, like I remember one time I was doing an interpreting. That was a conference interpreting for HSBC and for Chinese delegation in Australia and Hong Kong. And some of the Chinese people they can speak English. And when I translate the English, to interpret the English into Chinese, and they were just like, but I did not interpret anything wrong. I was really confident, but they just, well, some people they just when they look at you, they just well, you can't just there's something wrong with me. You need to be confident, and speak clearly and confidently. Let them know that there's nothing wrong with your translation. So that's very important.
Do you think Australia use different sort of style of translation or interpreting than China maybe? Because the rule of 70%, I think, I'm not sure. I mean, other countries they might count, might consider more than 70%.
I think it's more. I heard about there's a CATI test in China. It's about Chinese to English. There's two directions. It's more strict. It's more like because I can't make any comments on the test, but I think the English they use is like. More formal than
yes, probably all the English maybe
this English speaking overseas, in Australia.
Yeah, and I know when I was in Greece, I did for 2 years. I went and did Greek to English teaching. I wanted to get my certificate. They don't. When I said to one in Australia, they said, "Well, you don't really have English language." So I had to sit for the London test, and I had to actually learn. Americans have a different, their pronunciations are different, their words are different. And I had to actually sit for the London American. The Australian was just nothing. So, well, you don't really have language. Use that hand. He says, you're a bit of this and a bit of that and a bit of. So I think our language here in Australia is really different to overseas. You say Australian language, you say, man, your English is nothing. Your English is a bit of everyone's. A bit of English, a bit of, you know, like American, a bit of London, a bit of everybody. We haven't got our own. So
Well, that's fine. I mean, it's even okay if you have an accent, because there's very common. A lot of people they have an accent, but it doesn't matter as long as you can, you know, deliver the right, correct message to the other party. That's totally perfect.
I don't agree with that. I don't think the Australian language has an identity.
So
Well, that's not very dividing and nice saying that. It was really hard.
Yeah, overseas they still have this concept that I must be British pure English.
Exactly,
Like,
yeah.
they say, oh, you must go listen to BBC. But like
You
in
have to,
Australia,
and they've got that
pronunciation. I remember the one word that stuck in my brain was we say the bank. They say the bank. It's like what?
some posh.
So that they pronounce they don't pronounce their A's, they pronounce it up. It's
Yeah.
another language. So that was hard. They have their own English language.
Yeah, but even in Britain they have so many different accents.
Yeah, actually, I came across that one because when I worked on the he's coming back working with us. Oh my god.
Yeah, Dutch.
And you
Yeah.
speak English really? Like I think like okay, I'm English second language guys. Standard please. You know what I mean? Then I found out that people from England are always like mucking around of the accent of Scottish and Welsh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The English people themselves they talking about that, you know what I mean?
Everyone's got their own dialect.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
nothing to worry about. That's
Just my question, yeah. Am I expecting proverb for something like the test or just under the dialogue?
I'm sorry, what?
Proverb, for example,
Verb?
Proverb,
Right.
yeah. Or saying, for example, you say like because this proverb has a special way to translate or to say it, you know what I mean? Am I expecting that in the test or?
Well, what I say is just translate the meaning.
Okay.
You know, always focus on the meanings. You don't carry away by the sentence because, of course,
Because
when
I'm saying
people
that-
speak, they have they use all sorts of different sentence structures.
Actually, yeah.
So you don't follow, you don't just get lost by the sentence structure, but you just break it and then translate.
Now my concern here, because the proverb
Yeah, I feel
sometimes
like
has meaning different what the sentence telling you know what I mean? The sentence telling you something and so am I expecting that in this or not? Because with the proverb, it's kind of like the sentence telling you something, but you have to like reading between the lines, you know what I mean? Like there is different meanings given,
You mean like, for example, in terms of fingers crossed,
Yeah.
but then like in German it's like your thumbs crossed or your toes crossed, something. It's like a
Exactly.
different thing.
Exactly. When I say finger crossed, you know what I mean? That means be optimistic, right? When I translate that,
Yeah, so, yeah.
like while the specific terms it's telling you that the finger crossed, you know what I mean? But that's exactly what it tell you. So my question here in the exam, is it happen to have such a thing, you know what I mean?
Well, that happens, but you need to translate to the equivalency in your language. So you need to find an equivalency. So you need to translate that. You can't just you can, but you'd be at a risk of losing marks.
So, for example, I'm saying, for example, the doctor in English saying like, keep your finger crossed, okay? When I'm going to say it in Arabic, for example, I'm not going to tell him like, keep your finger crossed, you know what I mean?
Well, you have an equivalent
So that's not the
expression.
equivalent, otherwise what I mean,
Or you know what
the
that
word, you know what I
means,
mean?
or be hopeful. For
Exactly.
example, you would
That's-
say.
so
Yeah, but
I have to tell him that.
will they judge him wrong there,
Yes.
thinking that he didn't understand and didn't interpret exactly.
That's what I'm saying, like, for
But
example.
that's your knowledge of
for
vocabulary,
example,
like, you know, fingers crossed means to be,
Yeah.
you have to be hopeful
understanding
and,
and language ability as well. So that's the first thing you need to overcome. That's very basic.
So
You can't blame, I don't understand.
no, I'm just
Yeah.
I'm just, for example, it's,
Well, they'll say all sorts of
it's
things.
cultures, for example. It's cultures. For example, in English they have finger cross. In Arabic they
Yeah.
don't have finger cross at all.
They have something else, or they have to say something
Yeah.
else.
Have the meaning.
Yeah, they have different
Yes.
things,
but that's up to you to know.
Yeah, but if I say that exactly, if I'm going to translate exactly, like I'm interpret exactly, word by word,
I don't think
Ah,
they would put
that's
them
the
in
meaning.
that. I don't think they
Ah.
would put that. I mean, if they know it's a cultural thing,
Exactly,
I'm
yeah.
sure that they wouldn't.
I'm not sure, like that's what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
think
Well,
they do.
actually, they do because you're supposed to know everything. You are interpreter. You be a professional interpreter. So you gonna
Yeah, but how do I know, for example, Chinese or Japanese or whatever, what we say, for example, now, keep your fingers crossed. How do I know what they say? They might say touch your ears. How do I know what's that supposed to mean?
Yeah, but you
That's
know,
why I
you're
say
right,
just
you're
tell
right.
them, explain. You can explain it, or you can just say, good luck.
I mean,
Be hopeful.
See, when I think they want to say,
You know your language.
it means
you know
that
the
do we
language
use
of-
slang in interpreting or not? In exam, they want to
And
say
if
that.
if you can use it correctly, that's fine.
No, no. The reason he's asking in a test, do you use the slang or not?
Well, they sometimes do.
They do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's you have to know everything because once you become professional, you're not a normal person anymore. Professional. You're normal. You're more than normal.
But until we get there, just keep your fingers crossed. Okay.
And also, I think one most important thing to mention here is when you do a consecutive interpreting, you need to be confident as a speaker because you're giving a speech. You just imagine, you just need to put yourself in the shoes of the speaker because you are giving the speech in your language. Everyone is listening to you down there. That's very important. Then you'll be fully confident.
Yeah, they're listening to you, not the guy
Yeah,
that you're
that's
interpreting
right.
for.
Because they don't understand what it's saying.
Yeah. You're the boss.
yeah, they got the credit by
So make some eye contact. I mean, that's for like a real scenario. You can't make eye contact in the text. Yeah. So if you're not really sure about things, just talk. In a real situation, you can just look at the person and ask him to clarify, explain it to you, and then you can continue to interpret. So flow is very important. Fluency, that's very important. Well, self-control, you don't. Well, sorry.
Maybe
Some-
don't get carried away.
Yeah, some situations
Don't
you
get
just-
carried away now.
Because I remember last night, I was
on.
in a meeting with New South Wales Education Department. I was coughing like mad. I just couldn't stop myself. I was like coughing all the time, and the guy said, "You got a frog in your throat." I was like, "What?" But it helped, and I just stopped coughing.
It's okay, if you go back to accuracy, the accuracy, you can change the bit of the meaning. You can be accurate 100%.
Well, you will be perfect. You can be 100% accurate, but it's really
You
hard.
can use synonyms. Yeah, how you synonyms.
Like even IEC number, because for NATI you only got a 70, like the 70% of accuracy. Okay? So with if you become a IEC member, that requires you 90%. So that's only 90%. You can't be 100%.
Sure. Okay. If you say for example, just now, I'm going to school every day, and then I stop to take a coffee. Okay. When I translate, I have to translate exactly the same. What's the accuracy? If I put something
Well, the
extra.
accuracy is, you can't say, the food, I go to school every day, then I translate 100% right, that's my 100% accurate. Well,
Yeah.
that's correct, but you will be assessed according to the whole thing. So you're not just one sentence.
The whole meaning.
Probably the thing is, I go to school every day, and they go really long, and they got some really hard vocabulary there, and you don't know what to say. You just, sometimes my strategy is when I hear something, you can always come to the words you don't know. So you can either relate it to the passage, like talked about before, or you can just skip it and keep on going.
Do we block it in? Don't just translate part of it and then.
Well, sometimes you can just skip it because sometimes you can. But in Nati, if you come up with a word you don't know at all, you never heard of this, just repeat it. Okay, why repeat it? Because at least your sentence can flow fluently. So if you just say, the word, say for example, you got a word you don't know, that's odd. Just example. Okay, you don't know the word, never heard of it, never saw this before. You just well, you probably won't get any mark for this sentence.
Okay.
But if you translate and say odd, blah 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 blah, or at least you're fluent,
Yes.
you get some mark for the sentence.
Yeah.
So that's very important.
So say it in English, that's it, Say it in English, for example.
Just repeat, yes.
Just repeat that word if you've never heard of it. If you can skip, if they talk about that before, like you say, you can use 8, yeah, because they talked that before in the previous sentence already. So you can say 8. You can just, that's a smart way to avoid mistakes.
So say 8.
8.
Oh, okay.
What's the last one? Non-verbal features.
Non-verbal.
Information.
Well, just some,
Nice to
say,
see you.
it's like more like,
Oh, that's intonation, isn't it?
yeah, something like that. Not really important, I would say.
But you just follow the tone of the speech.
Like,
Yeah,
it comes
there's a
out angry
question
when the
or-
person's happy.
What's
It
that?
comes out angry or like that's
Yeah,
different feelings.
So yes, just other things. If you translate on the whole sentence or a small paragraph, then you remember that you missed something. You can say at the end, I missed that, and you say.
No, you can't. Well,
Can't.
that's a coping strategy. So if you say A, B, C, D, so you got 4 points in this. Say for example in this paragraph.
Okay.
And it's A, C, D, and then you forgot B, and then you remember then you just pretend you didn't. Or if you forgot, if you totally forget about this, then you just don't have to say anything.
Okay.
You don't say, I forgot, I have to do it again.
No, you just
that's
say,
that's
okay.
the fail.
Just
So or
okay.
if you say, I just remember I forgot to say B, and you can just say and blah blah blah.
Okay.
Oh,
Just give us
okay.
space, yeah.
Or plus,
Try not to make
besides.
it obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, make
That's
it
right.
better.
Yes, that's
You
right.
have to include it then.
Yeah.
Okay,
If
okay.
you
If you
remember.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, because that's the point.
Okay, okay. So because this is coming the last meeting, the interpreter he missed very important actually part of it, and then at the end he said, no, I missed that. He said I missed that. In fact, the line is fine. The mean is wrong, isn't it? He said addition.
Well, you don't have to. Like, as professional interpreter, you're not supposed to forget things.
You should understand
You
that
know,
now.
but it happens.
Yeah,
We're human beings.
You
We
have to
just
say it,
like,
but
say for
it's part
example,
of the
if
conversation.
during a conference, like you're doing consecutive, and you say something already, like blah blah blah, you got 10 points there, and I said 8 because I couldn't remember what I wrote there. I couldn't read my notes, and then you continue, and then you go again, and I remember what you said. I said plus blah 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 blah, and you just add all the points together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's important to have all the information.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
mean, it doesn't matter if it's at the end, later, or whatever. That information has to be said. In order, when we're interpreting, we can't.
In fact,
just leave it. You have to.
In practical life, you're gonna forget some stuff.
Of course.
It's a practical life. I'm
Yeah,
saying for
yeah.
this sake, you know.
But I think it will be easier like in real life because it's less stress. Because
Yeah.
in a test, you just
You go in so
You can't,
nervous,
yeah.
and you'll just forget. Something simple will pass your mind.
yeah, that's right.
You know what the advantage with that one? Even if you say something and you just forget, the other speakers, he doesn't understand anything. So even when you miss, the both sides, they don't know you missed something. You know what I mean?
That's
Unless
not
you need that.
professional.
Yeah, and then unless you, so you can't always like justify that one. Like you
Yeah.
go back again
Yeah.
and ask the question, you get it back. Okay, so translate it.
Start again.
You're gonna end up with the same, you know,
Yes.
with the whole information, but you know, you play around.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I'm saying fluency is very important because in a real job, the party probably won't understand what they're saying. So
That's right.
when you speak something like really fluent, really beautifully, they will, oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's
Even though you miss
right.
1 point or 2,
Exactly,
you
yeah.
still, you know, you're
And always you can ask for it.
yeah, that's right. You can all. Well, it's very important for you to ask for clarification because you know, like you don't want to make mistakes because you have to take legal responsibility
That's
for
right.
what you have done.
Whatever you
You know,
said, yeah.
so
It's
so that's
just
very
recorded.
important. Yeah,
Feedback is very important.
yeah. And so I can give you this. This is called. We'll talk about that later.
When want to click down now, so what about
I can take it. Can I get you a yellow plate? Is that okay?
This yellow, I should sign it.
So that's very basic thing we need to do. So interpret it in real life.
Thank you. Okay.
So before attempting assignment, we're presented, be on time, you know, and try to be given to. Yeah. So you need to, well, basically, in real life, you need to contact clients first and ask them if they have PowerPoints, ask for it, because sometimes they forgot to send you PowerPoint. And then you ask for, you know, how many people will be there, what are their names, what are you going to do, what are you going to talk about, you know, the location. You need all sort of information before you get the job, before you do the job. So they're really, really important. You need to rent your time. If you drive, you know, public transportation or whatever, you know, the weather, you can't be late. That's a big because I was late one time. I didn't get paid. Because that was really bad experience. Because it was raining that day. So I got a job in Liverpool, and it's really far away. I live in the University. So I got a cab